Welcome back to the channel. Mind of OPEX, let's dive into it. I just thought of a topic today, and I'm like, let's just turn it on and do it. Obviously, I didn't think at all before making this video. I just thought of a topic, as usual. The topic being, in this one, is life. Are you meant to just pay bills and die? Now, we've talked about the purpose of life. Holy shit. Sexy. Whew. One of the reasons I love Florida. Anyways, before we actually dive into the topic and what we're talking about, we're almost to 400 videos on this channel. In fact, we've probably surpassed 400 videos, but YouTube took down some. But we have something big planned for the 400th episode. It's gonna be, I don't want to ruin it, but it's gonna be pretty cool. It has a lot less to do with philosophy, but it'll be pretty entertaining, pretty cool, pretty funny. I just wanted you to know that something really cool is coming. We're at like video 397, or maybe this is 398 or something. So it's very, very short before that cool video shows up on your feed, if it ever makes it to your feed. Anyways, let's dive into this video, because we're already a minute and a half into this, and we've queued no intro. All right, let's dive into it. Is your life meant to be in this matrix? No. This is not all that life was meant to be. It was not. Is life meant to be getting up, going to make money so you can put food on your table? No. Now, we've talked about the purpose of life being essentially to reproduce. We've talked about how food is the currency of life. But we're going about these things at the wrong ways. Do you have to get married? Do you have to go to school? Do you have to go to college? Do you have to go out on dates? Do you have to do what you've been programmed to do in the Matrix? Go to work all day while your home is empty all day, so you can afford your house that you're away from all day. What's the fucking point of that? So you go to work, you wake up at 5 a.m. You have to rush, shower, and get some coffee, maybe eat a breakfast. And then you rush through morning traffic to get to work. Your home's empty all day until you get back. So your home's empty all day. What are you paying for? We can talk about rent and all the other things. Do you have to live this corporate slave life? The answer is no. When you were born into the Matrix. You were born through slavery. And your parents signed over you to the state so you can be a citizen. You are welcome in city limits because you are a citizen. You are higher class, according to them, right? So if you're not a citizen, you can't work legally in the United States. You could not drive a vehicle on the road without a driver's license. If you're a citizen, you get perks. Therefore, now you're born into the Matrix, and you're brought up to go to school, to sit down and shut up, listen to your teacher, obey authority, and become a well-established corporate slave, where you understand what you need to do in the Matrix, which is be dumb enough to make your boss more money, essentially, right? Be a good corporate slave. There's businesses everywhere, all right? There's businesses everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's a business. There's a company. Is this the way life is supposed to be? No. Governments. Do we need a government? No. I'm an anarchist, and I will tell you 1,000 different times. We are not meant to just spin the hamster wheel of the Matrix to make your boss more money, to make the elites sitting up on their throne, fucking not having to lift a finger, and have slaves that do all their work for them because they've convinced you money has more value than food. Money is more valuable than bartering, which this is all far from the truth. Far from the truth. Food is the currency of life. You were not meant to just pay bills and die. Make your overlords more money and make you less power. That's not what this world's about. That's not what life and consciousness is about. In fact, notice that when we're in it together, instead of having a cutthroat business, we're all fighting for the same position. Me, this guy, and this guy have been all working for the same company for 10 years. And now a new promotion comes underway. What has happened in the last 10 years, or even right now, can alter who gets that position. It's a cutthroat society. Is this what it's meant to be? When you're in traffic and you're cutting each other off to get to work or get to wherever the fuck you gotta be, is that what life is supposed to be? No. This has all been orchestrated through the number system. Now I've made a video, it was probably not a great video, I need to reiterate that at some point, about matrix, about numbers are the building blocks of the matrix. Look, numbers don't exist. Mathematics do exist. But when you create a language through numbers, specifically on a 10-digit scale, you put it on a 9-digit scale, everything goes out of whack. Your point system goes all out of whack. Everything goes out of whack and different if you have a 9-digit system instead of a 10-digit system. Why do they have a 10-digit system? So they can convince you it's real because you have 10 fingers. Seriously, that's why. I mean, I understand the occult very, very well. I understand why they created the matrix, so they can be ahead of everyone else and control the world. So, is this what life is supposed to be? Are you supposed to have a birth certificate and have no say for anything, and now you have to vote real change instead of being the real change? Is this what it's supposed to be? No. This is designed to lower your vibration, lower your power, lower your understanding of the universe, where all these people think, I need to be better in the matrix. So they fight to become better in the matrix, rather than being better in general. They will work harder in the matrix. They will spin that hamster wheel. They will make their boss more money. But for what? So maybe you can get another perk in the matrix. This is called slavery. See, 200 years ago, or 300 years ago, let's say, when there was black slaves in America, the good slaves got rewarded. You can sleep in the house, you can reproduce, you can learn how to read. Yeah, that existed to the good slaves. You can eat at the table with the non-slaves if you are a good slave. If you're not a good slave, you're going to be treated as the most slave. You're not going to get any perks or rewards. So in this matrix, if you do shitty, if you don't give a fuck, if you don't try to make your boss more money, you don't get rewarded. You don't get extra bonuses or money. You don't get that new car. You don't get the new PC or phone or whatever it is that you want. Those perks that you want. Your 15th pair of shoe, which you don't need. You're not going to get those perks if you're not a good slave. You're not going to own your own house, especially nowadays, if you're not a good slave. If you are a good slave, you get rewarded. If you're not a good slave, you do not get rewarded. So, the more you are a slave, the more you get rewarded. But not necessarily. But in general, yes. Do you want to be part of this matrix? I don't. A hamster born in a cage only knows the cage. Does not know anything outside of that cage. If you have a house cat and you keep them in the house, and now the cat's 12 years old, gets loose outside, what's going to happen when whatever wants to fuck it up. Another cat, let's just say. An outdoor cat. The outdoor cat's like, I don't like this cat being out in my territory. And it'll fuck it up. Do you want to be the house cat? Because that's what you are. You're the house cat. You're stuck in the house all day long in your VR headset, not thinking for yourself, constantly consuming more and more entertainment through a screen. Is that what you want? You want to be that weak-ass house cat? I don't remember what this guy's name is, but a few years ago I didn't meet him. I learned about this guy named, I might butcher his name. It's either Owen Benjamin or Benjamin Owen. Maybe a comedian. Yeah, he's a comedian, stand-up comedian. And he talks about house cats and how people can be house cats. And I remember that, and it always stuck with me because that's a great analogy. How many people that are stuck in the matrix can't think for themselves, can't think outside the box, can't even fathom not being a slave, and that's all they know, and they will fight to protect their slavery. Because the alternative is so radical, which is reality. You know, inside the matrix, you're stuck in the matrix. You're stuck in the laws and in the confinement of the matrix. But once you get outside of that matrix, those laws don't apply to you anymore. All of a sudden, you're not a citizen. All of a sudden, you're not surrendering to numbers anymore. And now you have power, and now you have control over your life. Just like that outdoor cat has, I'm going to choose this feline to breed with. I'm going to choose this territory. But in the matrix, oh, this house is for sale, which is under these jurisdictions and restrictions, and the government's restricting half your shit, and there's tons of restrictions in the matrix. Just like that house cat was restricted in becoming a powerful being. It never had stress or controversy or challenges that it had to endure. So it became weak. What do you think you are as the new age house cat? You, the fucking house cat, you. Think about it real quick. Do you go home after work? Do you put on the TV and sit on the couch all day? You're a fucking house cat. Do you only go to work and back into the store that you want to go to? Is that all you do? You don't venture outside. You don't travel to another country. You don't take the long way home or nothing. You're just stuck in a habitual matrix. That's all you're stuck in, and you don't know anything else. But they have programmed you to be this way and to interact as such because they want you weak and docile in an echo chamber of retardedness. That's essentially what it is. If you believe in the left or the right wings, which they belong to the same bird, if you believe in it and you say you're left wing, which you're not, no one's voting for you, if you say you're left wing, you're already really confused. You're already a house cat. It's already extremely difficult to pull you out of the matrix because you believe that your slave owners have your best interest. You're already a deep corporate slave. And it's very tough to pull you out. Just like that 12-year-old house cat, never been outside before, scared of its own shadow, would never survive in nature. And that's a cat. These cats are essentially killing machines and adaptive machines that you know the territory in Australia, right? Like all of Australia. The ecosystem there, kittens and felines go there and destroy the whole ecosystem, kills everything because they're forces. A house cat, when outdoors, are real powerful creatures and will run the territory and even bully dogs, etc., right? But then you put that cat into a house cat situation and it's weak, docile, dependent. That's what you guys are. So my encouragement is see the matrix, see what it is. Are you meant to just pay bills and die? No, you have to go to school, go to college, get married, have some kids, have a job, a career, a 401k account. Is this what life is supposed to be? Or is this redirecting you from your own power and your own control over life, just you paying taxes is taking away your power and your control over your life, because you should have the product of your labor, 100% of the product of your labor, but you do not, do you? The government takes, so therefore you have to work harder to support the government and your boss and Social Security, etc. Right? So all of these institutions, aka corporations, these corporations have a say on what you earn. Is that wrong or right? You tell me. I don't think it's wrong if you agree to it, but if you have not agreed to it because, you know, your mother, when you were just fucking born, signed you up to be a citizen, aka a slave, you are now collateral for a debt to the banks. Is that what the world was meant for? You to be a slave? No. Why the fuck do you think the Great Reset people call you useless eaters? Because they have programmed you and created a world, a matrix, in which you are now useless. You have no power. You have no control over your food. They control your food. They control where you live, how you eat, whatever, right? They control every aspect of your life. Tell me how powerful you are. You're weak. You're a house cat. And this world is not meant for house cats, because you die. You're weak. You can't even survive without dependency. What I'm offering you is to be independent, control where you get your food. Bartering's okay. Food is the currency of life, not money. Watch my video, Food is the Currency of Life, and I detail where food comes from, how you get nutrients. And they want to take that away from you, so you're weak, docile, dependent on them. And if you're dependent on them, you're never going to not vote, are you? Because you believe in voting, and you believe in government, and you believe in the education system, which is all devolving our species. We're devolving. We're not evolving. We're devolving. We used to be powerful. Now everyone has cancer. Everyone's struggling with sugar and diabetes and all the problems that are occurring nowadays. Your autoimmune problems, and because you can't think for yourself, and you need to be told by authority or someone that is granted higher authority. Sorry, I basically just choked on my own spit. Anyways, I'm here right now, so I'm not going to be saying too much more. So, I hope you guys understand where I'm getting at here. Start living as an alpha. You cannot be an alpha if you're in the Matrix. And stop trying to become better in the Matrix and becoming a better corporate slave, because you get better perks. You get your new iPhone every year, and you update your vehicle every couple of years. Is that what you need? That is not what you need. That is taking time. Think of it like this. $10 an hour. Some of you guys are looking for a job. $10 an hour, let's say 15. That's pretty average, right? $15 an hour. You want your job at $15 an hour. What I encourage you to do is think about this for a second. I have a job for you. $15, it's going to take you an hour. I want you to rake all the leaves on 10 different properties, and it's going to take you an hour. Hour of hard work, no breaks, and I'm going to give you $15. Are you going to do that? I don't think you will. But for some stupid reason, we do it every day. We go to a job we don't like to make money for that person that is considered our boss or the company head, CEO, president, whatever. And you think this is life? I can't wait till retirement. For what? My encouragement to you, start having your own homestead. Start having your own food. Start bartering with your neighbors, whether that's you trading your cucumbers for their watermelon or your chickens for their beef or cattle. Whatever it may be, trade. It's so much better than money because now we don't have to work at a corporate slave job. All we have to do is create value into the world, and that value will transcend. If there was no government, let's say if you worked for yourself on your homestead and you just had egg production, and all you do is make eggs, no government to steal your product, no regulations, just you and your neighbors, and you get to decide how far you want to take it, how lucrative you can be. And money is not wealth. Yeah, money can have you buy everything under their restrictions, under their laws. But if you had egg production and you had thousands and thousands and thousands of eggs, and you can decide, I want to trade 5 dozen eggs for a pound of meat. I want to trade this for this and this for this. Now everyone's providing value. But guess what? When you're going to a job that you can be replaced tomorrow by somebody else, yes, you're able to be replaced on 98% of jobs. You're replaceable. They can replace you tomorrow for a lower wage because every one of you are fucking slaves in the matrix. You're replaceable. Why are you breaking your neck for that? They just want higher revenue. They don't care about you. They just want higher revenue. They want their second yacht. Do you understand the slavery that's going on? What I encourage you is to be self-sustainable. Do not be dependent on them. When you're dependent on them, you are a house cat. You are pathetic, pussy, weak. You will die in real life. You take one of you house cats and put you into a real survival experiment, you'll die. You're a house cat. You're pathetic. You're weak. You're dependent. You care more about money than food. But you need money to get food, right? No. You have a chicken. That chicken lays an egg. Now you have another chicken that you're raising. Granted, if it was fertilized, etc. Seminated. So what I'm getting at here is there's more to life than being in the matrix. In fact, reality is outside of the matrix. The matrix was designed to keep you in a bubble that you can't get out. That you think this is all life is. There's a hierarchy. You want a higher status mate. And everything's just fun and entertainment and nothing's really going on. Well, you don't know what's going on because you're a house cat. Just like the hamster born in a cage. That's all you know. But there's so much more. There's a plethora of life and meaning and feeling. And they just tell you climate change is happening because cows fart and CO2 into the atmosphere from vehicles and plants. And come on, guys. If you are in the matrix, you're going to surrender to whatever the fuck they say. Oh, I'll give up my liberties and freedoms because cows farting. Or you can be like, I'm going to have full control over every aspect of my life. That's what an alpha is. If you take a house cat outside, it's going to die. It is not an alpha. It is not able to survive. My encouragement is to have you a better person, a stronger person, someone who thinks rationally outside of the box that can consider tons of variables that would have never even applied or even came into thought. if you were stuck in the Matrix. I'm not telling you get rid of your birth certificate and start pretending the government doesn't exist, but I am telling you that they are the enemy. You and me are in this together. We are in this together. And I encourage you guys, I strongly encourage you guys to think for yourself rationally, outside the box. Consider variables that were not evident prior to you thinking outside the Matrix. Life is not, basically, the Matrix is you paying rent to a landlord and you're always surrendering your power. Always. And you're becoming dumber, docile, weak. Is that what you want? Or, oh, it's right here. Or, do you want to be strong and independent? Choice is yours. And there's so much more to life. Imagine, let's put this into context. Let's say you were born into this world and I took you from your parents. I put you into a room where we're just going to train you to be a corporate slave all day. Teach you how to sit down, shut up, never talk back, never consider another idea outside of the education I'm giving you. And I'm going to test you on how good of a corporate slave you are by believing the bullshit rhetoric I'm giving you and without questioning it. So I'm giving you the questions and you need to answer it how I want you to. So I take you from your parents and I put you into one room that you're going to be living in for 12 years so I can program you. Now, you're unable to think outside the Matrix because I have brainwashed you into the Matrix exactly how I desired, how I intended it. So now the kid's, I don't know, let's just say 18 now. And now I take him out of that room and I put him into a factory where he only knows how to do one thing. How to do factory work. Look for errors on the line, remove those errors, etc. Just smart enough to run the machines and do all the paperwork, but too dumb enough to passively accept their situation. Again, hamster born in a cage only knows the cage. Doesn't know there's a cat out there waiting to murder it. Doesn't know. And if you were in this scenario that I'm giving you, that I took you from your parents at the age of 6, gave you 12 years of school indoctrination camp, and then I put you into a factory line of work. That's all you know. You might not even know what it means to smile or be happy. You don't know. And that's a normal thing that you should have. Have you ever seen those house cats? They're scared and timid of everything. Do you want to be scared and timid of anything? Or do you want to have control over your situation? Escape the Matrix. Become your greatest version. Take life into your hands. You were not born on this planet to be a slave. You never were. But that's what they use you for. They use your time and energy to run the hamster wheel of the Matrix. They use you and your dumb, docile house cat mind to never stand up for yourself and always surrender. Have you noticed that? The more schooling someone has, the more they surrender. Have you noticed that? They're so used to surrendering to authority after 12 years of school and then another 4, let's say a doctor, another 10 years of med school. So 22 years of indoctrination for you sitting down, shutting up, and believe their word is gospel. 22 years. And if you don't believe their word is gospel, you don't become a doctor. Do you understand the Matrix and how it runs? And how every aspect of your life and how the world is run through ownership and through slavery? Ownership and slaves. And how they already convinced you. This medical doctor will promotes more people being medical doctors. You're not going to say, oh, don't do this. They're going to tell you to do it. Anyone who's been in school basically tells you, oh, you do it because I did it, and it's fine. I survived, you'll survive. This is the mentality. There's no thought process. There's no philosophy. There's no light bulb going off in any of these house cats' head. There's no light bulb. There's no thoughts. This is all they know. This is all you know. So I hope that you start to see the fabric of the Matrix. Maybe I didn't explain it very well, because the Matrix would have like a 10-part series of at least hour-long episodes for me to be more thorough about explaining the Matrix to you guys. But it's really the circumstances you are in are based on where you stand inside the Matrix. Not in real life, but where you are inside the Matrix. Alright, this is already a 31-minute video. Stay tuned for more content. Plenty more coming. It's OPEX. I'm out. See ya.